Imagine that a hospital suddenly reports an unusually high number of lung cancer cases. The question is obvious. What caused it? Do we follow thousands of healthy people for the next 20 years to find out? Not necessarily. Instead, epidemiologists often work backwards. They begin with people who already have the disease and compare them with those who don't. Then they look into the past to identify possible risk factors. This is called a case control study, one of the most widely used study designs in epidemiology, especially for rare diseases. By the end of this video, you'll understand how case control studies are designed, how they are analyzed, and when they are the best choice for research. A case control study is an analytical observational study that starts with the outcome or disease and then looks backward to identify previous exposure to a suspected risk factor. Unlike cohort studies, which begin with exposure and move forward, case control studies start at the endpoint and trace history backward. The first group consists of cases, people who have the disease. The second group consists of controls, people without the disease. The objective is simple. Were cases exposed to a suspected risk factor more often than controls? For example, if researchers want to know whether smoking is associated with lung cancer, they compare smoking history between patients with lung cancer and similar individuals without lung cancer. Since both the disease and exposure have already occurred, this is a retrospective study. The quality of a case control study depends heavily on selecting the right participants. First, researchers select the cases. Cases should have a clear and standardized diagnosis, preferably based on accepted clinical criteria. Whenever possible, newly diagnosed or incident cases are preferred because they reduce bias. Next come the controls. Controls should come from the same population as the cases but should not have the disease under study. A useful way to remember this is cases and controls should be alike in every important way except for the disease. Controls can be selected from hospitals, neighborhoods, workplaces, or even the general population, depending on the research question. Poor selection of controls is one of the most common reasons why case control studies produce misleading results. After selecting participants, researchers compare like with like using a process called matching. Matching reduces the influence of factors that could distort the association between exposure and disease. For example, if age influences the disease, each case can be matched with a control of a similar age. The same can be done for sex, occupation, or other important variables. Matching may be done individually, where each case has a similar control, or by frequency matching, where both groups have similar overall characteristics. Next comes measurement of exposure. This step is critical. Researchers must collect exposure information in exactly the same way for both cases and controls. Whether they use interviews, questionnaires, hospital records, or laboratory reports, the method should be identical. If researchers question cases more thoroughly than controls, the study may suffer from measurement bias, leading to incorrect conclusions. Consistency is the key. Now comes the analysis. The data are arranged into a simple 2x2 table. One side represents cases and controls. The other side represents exposed and non-exposed individuals. This creates 4 cells, commonly labeled A, B, C, and D. Unlike cohort studies, we cannot calculate incidence or relative risk because we deliberately selected people based on disease status. Instead, we calculate the odds ratio or OR. The formula is very simple. Odds ratio equals A multiplied by D divided by B multiplied by C, or simply OR is equal to AD divided by BC. The odds ratio tells us how strongly an exposure is associated with a disease. If the odds ratio is 1, there is no association. If it is greater than 1, the exposure is associated with higher odds of disease and may be a risk factor. If it is less than 1, the exposure may actually be protective. For rare diseases, the odds ratio provides a very good estimate of the relative risk. Like every study design, case control studies have strengths and limitations. One of their greatest advantages is that they are fast, economical, and efficient. They are especially useful for studying rare diseases where following large populations would be impractical. They also allow researchers to evaluate multiple risk factors for a single disease. Since there is no intervention, ethical concerns are generally minimal. However, they also have important limitations. Because researchers rely on past exposure, participants may not accurately remember events. This is known as recall bias. Selecting appropriate controls can also be challenging, leading to selection bias. Another important issue is confounding, where another variable influences both the exposure and the disease, creating a misleading association. Finally, because incidence cannot be measured directly, case control studies cannot calculate risk or establish definite cause and effect relationships. They identify associations, not proof of causation. There are also different variations of case control studies. The classic unmatched design selects cases and controls independently. In a matched design, controls are matched to cases based on important characteristics. A nested case control study is conducted within an existing cohort study, making exposure information more reliable. Researchers may also use case cohort or ambidirectional designs depending on the objectives and available data. Although these designs differ slightly, they all follow the same principle. Start with disease, look backward for exposure. Let's quickly summarize. A case control study begins with people who have a disease and compares them with similar people who do not. Researchers then look back to determine previous exposure to suspected risk factors. The study depends on careful selection of cases and controls, appropriate matching, and identical measurement of exposure. The main measure of association is the odds ratio, calculated as AD divided by BC. Case-controlled studies are ideal for rare diseases, relatively inexpensive and efficient, but they are vulnerable to recall bias, selection bias, and confounding. Most importantly, remember this simple rule. Case control studies start with the effect and look backward for the cause. If this helped you understand case control studies more clearly, hit like, subscribe for more easy to understand public health and epidemiology videos, and leave a comment telling me which epidemiological study design you'd like me to explain next. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.